Today on American Indian, the Red Moon Bakery Fusion Food Challenge heats up as we head to a local sweet shop to get the inside scoop on what our judges think of Indian sweets.
It's like biting into a soaked sponge.
We join in on our neighborhood's Dussehra celebrations.
It was pretty fun, actually.
And then head back to the kitchen to formulate some ideas for dishes. All that and more today on this continuing Diwali special edition of American Indian. We're an American family living in India. We love food, film, language, culture, and making new friends. Join our adventures from America to India and beyond. Now, as I said, I do really like Indian sweets, but we thought it would be a good idea to go out and do a refresher on some of the major Indian sweets together at a famous Delhi location, Nattu Sweets. This would give us as competitors a better understanding of the type of sweets our judges would prefer.
So Nattu Sweets is a sweet shop where we went and tried out a bunch of different sweets and get mine and some other people's opinions of all the different sweet selections that are there. We were testing each one and rating each one and giving kind of our opinion of it. We appreciate Nattu Sweets letting us be there and taking up their tables for about an hour and a half. I can tell you that right now.
So how's the mouth feel for you?
The mouth feel is moving into the negatives. It's a -5, if I can do that.
Okay, stop it.
So what do you think?
Yeah.
It's not the same as you're used to, but how does it taste? Like, tastes okay?
It's like biting into a soaked sponge, and as soon as you bite down, it just releases all of the juice into your mouth. The one pleasant thing about it is it's not as sweet as some of the other desserts.
Yeah.
So I do confess, I've lived here 10 years and I've never eaten this one for the same reasons David mentioned. I don't like squish. So here we go. Yeah, I've had worse things. So.
Well, Satya's having another bite of it, so that's a pretty good sign. What would you give on the emoticonometer?
Sweet syrup soaked donut that doesn't break down like a donut might.
Right.
I really like it. I like the flavor of it. My friend sat down here and ate 7 plates of these one time. He calls these sweet hot logs.
All right, so here's the malpua with rubber.
It's not bad. First thing that hits your palate is a bit of salt, and then the sweet takes over, and then you get that chewy pancake, sweet pancake thing. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good, like not the best ever.
Not the best, yeah.
What do you think? Not really your cup of tea? No. The mouthfeel is something that, yeah, you have to get used to. It's an acquired feel. I think it's fine. They put some crunch in there to offset. So you got some crunch in there.
Feels like lukewarm grits on like a syrup soaked pancake. That's what I really do feel like I'm at Denny's. Yeah, I mean it's not bad, but the texture for me is just it's like a 1. It's not a good texture. I think it's good. It's not bad. I might like it better than gulab jamun, which is saying something.
Yeah.
I'd order it.
I would eat it. Yeah, I would eat it again.
Really?
I might actually try to make this my dish to recreate.
This is the Indian snowball, and I have to say, presentation, it's got some significant wow appeal. It's a little denser than a lot denser than you would a snowball. Wow, a lot denser. Yeah, wow.
It's good?
It's sweet. And the mouth feels just like the Rasgulla.
Rasgulla, yeah.
It just breaks down, and it's like I just bit into some chalk. But the flavor's actually pretty good.
This is actually good for me to know. The presentation's important today.
Yeah, I think by now I'm tired of syrup. Everything is kind of syrup.
Yeah, the coconut really helps. Oh yeah. It's really good.
Yeah, so this is silver leaf on top of this. And what's the flavor on this one?
Just regular barffi.
Regular. The thing with barffi is it comes in so many different flavors. This is not one of my favorite.
What do you think?
It's a little dry.
Yeah, it's sweet.
The mouthfeel, it's breaking apart in my mouth. There's some that are a little thinner and denser. So, and this isn't one of those. So it's not as sweet. The texture's not as bad either. It doesn't break down in your mouth.
Yeah.
But it feels like you're eating like fish eggs. All these little beads break out, so it feels like
It's very simple. Yeah, I like this type of laddu though. I don't like the other ones that are harder.
And actually, I really like these ones.
Refreshingly not as sweet.
Yeah, I like it just because it's totally like nothing else. It has the texture of fiberglass. See that? It's such a funky bad boy. I really like it, and it kind of melts in your mouth.
The inside of a Butterfinger. That's kind of what it's like.
Yeah, but it's not like that really.
Not that taste, but that
Yeah, it totally dissolves in your mouth.
Yeah, not my favorite. Flavor's okay. I don't know if I like the shards falling apart thing.
You may be wondering why Mel and Rohan didn't make an appearance in the Not Too Sweets tasting. Well, it's a long story filled with visa intrigue that I promise is not very intriguing. The short version of the story is that Rohan had to head back to the United States to renew his visa.
We're about to take Melissa and Rohan to the airport. We're going to be flying back to the US for at least a month. We're a little bummed.
So they went back, they got to visit some family. Melissa got to go to her best friend's wedding, which was pretty cool. Rohan got his visa. Then they were shopping at Target, which is a Walmart kind of department store. And Rohan fell out of the shopping cart. A cruel irony, because Rohan has developed quite the love for shopping carts. And they betrayed you. How does that make you feel? Melissa had bought him this shopping cart toy while he's back in America, and he really grew to love this thing. But he got his cast off last week. This is the closest thing we've been able to find to a shopping cart toy here in Delhi. I think it's a girl's toy. Don't tell him. Why is it? Anyways, back in India, things were heating up for me and Satya. We decided to join Dave and Anna for a Dussehra celebration in our neighborhood. Also known as Vijayadashmi, Dussehra is celebrated in many parts of India in honor of Lord Ram defeating the 10-headed evil demon king, Ravan. And the way people in Delhi typically celebrate the Dussehra part of the Ramayan story is with the Ravan Dahan, putting up an effigy of Ravan and sometimes his two henchmen, his son Meghnad, and his legendary drunk master of her brother Kumkaran, and you watch them all burn. Put fireworks in the actual structure of the effigies, and so when it goes up in flames, they're blowing up and stuff like that. I'd seen this in movies before, I'd heard about it a lot, but I never actually witnessed a Ravan Dahan myself. We went by the Maidan, the field where the celebration was going to occur, and on the way, we got to witness the parade with some people dressed up as characters from the Ramayana. Impromptu celebrations were occurring all along the road. I've talked about the fireworks here, but man, I'll say it again. Words do not do them justice. The English word firecracker and the Hindi word patakar, they're not good enough for what these things are like, okay? I think words like blast dealers, or heart stoppers, or dimag defibrillators, any of those would be better. I don't understand how this kid can hear anything now. We got back to the Maidan to find this. I'm just gonna round it off, you know, with my special calculative abilities. 58,000 people attended this. That's the official number. 58,000 people in a square kilometer. Anyways, there was a lot of people for real. You couldn't get a good view from the road, so many people were climbing the fences. So Dave suggested that I climb up the back fence because nobody had gotten there yet. But by the time I got there, on my right, an old man had scaled the wall. And on my left, a young child. There's something so awesome about that. Like, I never have had a community celebration in which I was sitting next to this old man and this young kid after scaling a 6-foot wall. That's awesome. And I hadn't been up there a minute when the master of ceremonies, the guy holding the mic, looks up and sees me up there. And he's like, hey, come on in, get down from there, come on in. I just think he was so shocked to see this white dude standing out there with a camera. It's like, oh, that guy he must be he's Humans of New York. Humans of New York is here. What I should have done is just jump down, you know? He was motioning to the gate, and this is what the gate looked like. Yeah. Some important dude showed up, and he's just like, hulking through, just throwing through. Hey, I'm coming through. These three younger guys, college age guys. Hey, we'll help you get in. We'll help you get in. Stick with us. Hey, there was no sticking with anything, okay? It was more mayhem than any mosh pit that I've ever been in. I'm almost at the front, and when out of nowhere, they just materialized. Like, hey, you made it. Here, come on. And they're like, hey, he has a camera. He's important. Let him in. And let me in. The entire front part of the field, which had been blocked off and they weren't letting people in, had filled up with people. There was a guy blowing fire, there were fireworks, people were dressed as characters from the Ramayana, and all of a sudden, without warning, one of Ravan's associates spontaneously combusted. If you're a foreigner, or if you're from India and have never seen this, especially in a more village setting, You need to. I've seen tons of fireworks shows in my life, but I've never seen anything like this. This was like a front seat to a volcano. When the second effigy went up, the one that was closest to us, I cannot remember the last time I was this scared. I mean, you can see it in the video. Instinctively, our whole crowd just surged backward. You couldn't stop yourself. The heat, the noise, it was self-preservation. I think this look on the kid's face at the end just says it all to me. I mean, we weren't just spectators at a fireworks show. We just survived an inferno together. We just witnessed firsthand the destruction of evil and barely lived to tell the tale. It was one of the most amazing live show experiences I've ever had in my life. I'm tired of safe. So for me, I took that experience back to the kitchen because I wanted to take some part of India that made me smile like that and put it on the plate with my limited skill set before Dave and Anna and see if I could make them smile like that. I decided that Malpua was the thing for me. I tasted Malpua the first time in 2002 when I was here in Varanasi. The landlady cooked Malpua one time and I tried it and I liked it so much that she made me a whole batch before I left. She prepared it in a different way and it was a little thicker and more like a pancake in the West. And I would just eat those things cold. I would eat them by themselves. I love those things. I can still taste it now, 12 years later. So I know during festival season it's laddus and barfi, but now I'm doing Malpua. David seemed to like the Malpua as well, but he didn't seem to be the biggest fan of the sweetness of the syrup and the consistency and texture of the rubbery on top of the Malpua. So for me, with a little bit of help from my competitor, she's a good sport, we came up with the idea that we could replace the rubbery with cream cheese frosting, which is a Western thing, and then make the Malpua red velvet, which is a Red Moon Bakery specialty. They do red velvet cake. It's basically like cocoa-infused cake with red coloring, so it has this deep, rich, darker red, and it has a cocoa-y kind of feel or something. Very technical terms here.
Red velvet with some cream cheese frosting. Malpua.
Alright. So it's a warm thing or it's served cold? Because cream cheese kind of melts and then the other thing is warm. So where were you going with it?
We wanted to do a cookie.
Okay.
We were going to do a fried cookie and it was going to have a stuffing. Had like a paratha stuffed with rubbery. And so we could do a rubbery stuffed chocolate chip cookie, but instead of baking it, we would fry it.
I'm not sure what I think of these ideas. I can't quite imagine them yet. Can you?
I mean, this is just an idea stage before we get down to, you know, starting to actually see them from visualization to realization.
I kind of wish I could hear Rohan's ideas. I kind of think we might have had some better stuff in there than maybe what Forbes has. What about Melissa's dish? If I'm not wrong, rubbery is kind of liquidy, right? You're gonna stuff that inside a chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah, I think she's gonna be grasping at straws to make that work.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it'd be interesting. Maybe she's got some special skills I don't know about, but I don't know how I would do that. I guess maybe she froze it, stick it inside as a solid.
Maybe. I mean, the idea it sounds like it's gonna taste good, but I just can't see it coming together.
We had our dishes, we had our inspiration, now we just needed to execute. And for that, you're just gonna have to wait until Wednesday.
You ready for a Master Chef style challenge in your kitchen?
You mean a Master Chef style victory?
Oh, Tim's fighting word. For our final segment of this Diwali Fusion Food Challenge Special Edition of American Indian. Again, please like, comment, and subscribe for more cross-cultural adventures from America to India and beyond. And if you really like the show, please consider supporting us over here on Patreon. Until Wednesday, keep it creative, keep it cross-cultural, and keep it constructive, YouTube. Thank you very much.